Good morning. Today I wanted to talk about safety belts. Something we have in the car, right? Just in case an accident happens. How do we protect ourselves from a relapse? Now, relapse is not part of recovery, but it could be a part of your journey. How do we bounce back? What do we do when we do engage in a relapse? See, relapse is part of my story. And I'm here to tell you that it is a bounce back to it. It actually could be a lesson learned. Because I don't believe we learn solely from our successes in life or our accomplishments. I believe our failures and our mistakes teach us more. So how can we learn from a relapse to continue to move forward? My experience, I remember explaining this in a meeting, and I was that if I didn't relapse, I wouldn't be sober today. A little bit over 5 years. Because my stubborn self had to touch that fire again. But you do not. Let me tell you. Because I tried it in all different ways as far as when it comes to alcohol and to keep it in my life. Don't drink with the homies. Don't drink before work. Don't drink on the weekday. Only drink on the weekend. I'm going to just drink with my kid's mother. Because when I go out and drink, I'm always getting too drunk. I'm going to stay away from that hard stuff. I'm just going to drink beer. Or I'm just going to drink wine. And any which way I put it in my body, it always ended with the same outcome. Usually I was going to jail, some arguments, or something crazy was happening in my life. But this is the thing. It never occurred to me not to drink. Not one time in all those experiences. See, I'm willing to get rid of, maybe it's her that's causing this. Maybe it's this job that's causing stress. And move all these things out of my life. I'll stop the criminal and the street activity because that's a part of my story as well. And I will get into that as I grow my channel. But it just never occurred not to drink, until it did. So to loop it back to relapse and how we protect ourselves, we got to have a mental defense against the first drink. Something I like to call a higher power, a God of your understanding. Now, I'm not talking religious, more on the spiritual side. Something that you can rely on. It could be the sun, the moon, the ocean, whatever you understand your God to be, that is what helps you move forward. Because sometimes we'll put people in that place. You can put your girlfriend, put your boyfriend, your husband, your wife, your mom, your dad, and humans fail us. Even with their greatest intention of wanting to keep us sober or wanting to help us, they will fail us time and time again. See, something my sponsor told me at 30 years of sobriety. Today, my sponsor has 37. But at 30 years of sobriety, when I first came around here, before my first relapse, is that he cannot keep me sober. And in my mind, so small of thinking at that time, especially when it came to recovery, I was like, oh man, this guy has 30 years of sobriety. He's going to help me stay sober for sure. He's going to keep me sober. And that's the first thing he told me. But then he followed up and gave me a solution. But I will lead you to a power greater than yourself that will keep you sober. See, when we in our addiction, we are spiritually drained. And if I was still living the life of being spiritually drained, I wouldn't be able to pour into your spiritual cup. Relapse can definitely be something to learn from, but sometimes we get stuck in it. How do we bounce back? Moment of clarity, spiritual awakening, spiritual experiences, things of that nature. Mine came from removing everyone from around me. Excuse me, let me be clear. People leaving and getting away from me. Because I didn't remove anything. People didn't want to be around me behind my addiction and the person I became. These was all teachings for me to lead me in the direction where I was going to go. See, I didn't understand when I took that first drink and the way it made me feel that I was going to be doing this for a very long time in my life, and I was going to remove everything out of my life. See, I said something yesterday that recovery is giving up that one thing, alcohol, and getting everything back. Family, friends. If you want materialistic cars, houses, you get all that. Most importantly, it was those relationships I was able to restore. But addiction, what it did to me, it took all that from me to ultimately only have myself. And then it took me. See, our minds is what keeps us in the loop. But once we can heal mentally and heal spiritually and physically, see, we straighten out spiritually, and mentally and physically will straighten out by itself. We won't have to do nothing about it. But that's my daily tip for today. Once again, I'm getting new to this YouTube thing, so subscribe for more content. I'll upload once or twice a week, just with recovery, just giving some motivation out there for somebody who's struggling. I'm actually on my way into work now. I'm a substance abuse counselor. I work in a women's facility, believe it or not, and that was something I also struggled with. So as I continue to tell my stories, I get into that too. How I was a womanizer, a manipulator, lying, stealing, cheating. How I was lying, stealing, and cheating before I picked up any drug or alcohol. Behaviors, remember. But stay sober, stay clean. It's breaking change with Abram, and we're gonna continue to break some change from right here. Thank you.